Hey there, thanks so much for joining me. I'm Kira Woods and this is your weekly tarot forecast. So I'm looking now at this week. Let's have a look and see what sort of, draw 3 cards to see what sort of energies around us. Of course, it's the 4th week of the month, so Monday today, the July the 20th, so that will make us for the 20th through to the 26th. Just shuffling the cards, so let's have a look and see what. Okay, first card I'm drawing for the first part of the week is the 5 of Cups with the 7 of Swords. I had that last week too, I think. Yeah, we did. And the 7 of Cups. Okay, so we've got 7's energy quite strong here. We've got a lot of Cups energy. And we're repeating the 7 of Swords, so that's of significance. But also note there are no Pentacles. I always like to see what's missing. There's also no Wands. So what this is saying is that emotions are going to be strong. The situations around you, the situations that you're going to engage in are going to have a lot of emotive energy, a lot of feeling, as well as your mind might be playing tricks on you in terms of how you relate to those emotions. And in terms of, and then what's missing is the Wand, so that around passion and direction and focus and your energy and also the material world is missing. So that's quite informative too, in terms of you may find the situation is in those planes, however the energy and the opportunity, the challenge or the outcome is going to be more related to your heart. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is sitting up there because that is the helper card for the month. And for those of you who haven't checked out the monthly reading, go check it out. You might find that also useful. So just to remind you, as a helper card, this is it's either going to be a person that's going to come to your life with some sort of an emotional message or a sort of a going to have a positive impact or an impact on your emotional well-being, and it's an action card, so they're bringing in a message or they're bringing something into your awareness of how your emotions are important in this situation that is new to you, or it may be a part of your own personality that's going to shine and rise up, and within that is how you're going to really grasp the lesson or the opportunity. So the first part of the week, we've got, as I said, another Cups card. So here we've got the 5 of Cups. And, you know, when this card shows up, a lot of people kind of like take a deep breath and think, oh dear, you know. Because this card is, this person's looking quite sorrowful. You know, there's no doubts. You know, 3 cups have spilled over. So it is about sorrow and disappointment, you know. However, within that, it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, life just sends us curveball. You know, we do drop the milk bottle, and there is sort of the spilled milk kind of concept. It's not the end of the world, though. It's also reminding us that sometimes sadness is an important part of life, and through sadness we get to open our heart and let the sunlight in. And it's like sometimes when we feel the pain of grief and loss, that we actually have the greatest capacity to really find a new sense of connectedness to our own self and our own wisdom. Because in this card, note, it's a beautiful sunny day, and there are 2 cups upright. So what's saying here is that yes, there is grief, there is loss, and when you are grieving, which kind of has its own timeline, but at some point along the way, you need to turn around and look at what's that the cups are upright as well, that the cup is half full, not just half empty, and that the sun is shining. You might also find that you know, this card is indicating maybe you're having a hard time letting go. So someone may come back into your life, that something of the past. You might find you get a little caught up in that. You might find an old emotional attachment returns. You might be feeling quite a bit of grief. You might be grieving maybe what you perceive as your past mistakes or sorrow or loss. You might find that you're needing to feel the loss so that you can let go of it, finally let go of it, and create a new space in your life or a new place. You might be feeling a little bit like with the cups that are still upright, you might have a new insight as to what is the loves or the part of your heart that you really want to take forward in your life, and what are things in your life that you just need to let go. Honor and respect the things that you've loved. Remembering that if you hadn't loved, or if you hadn't had that pleasure or that sense of connectedness from a heartfelt place, you wouldn't be feeling the loss. So that's sort of that balance of knowing that if you haven't loved, then you won't. If you only feel lost when you've loved, kind of. All right. So Seven of Swords. As we mentioned last week, the Seven of Swords is about your mind. It's about your mind playing tricks on you. So you might find with all this cup energy around you that your mind starts to play tricks as to what it means or the importance of it. Notice that here there are two swords upright and five that he's running away with. It's sort of indicating here that your mind is being tricky, or that you perhaps, if you're not being truly honest with your emotional well-being, you may find that it'll kind of bite you in the butt. Or if you're trying to keep a secret from others, if there's some sort of an emotional secret that you're hanging on to, the word's going to get out. You're not going to keep it a secret too much longer. It also can mean that maybe that your mind's sort of telling you that maybe you just need to run away from this pain that you are feeling. And so you just want to just run, and you got to kind of think a little bit about, is that really in your best interest? If it is, great. But is that really what you want, and does that fit with your values and beliefs? So this here, we're sort of looking at Seven of Swords. So it's a 7. So 7 is about those vices and virtues. And here we've got the cups. Later in the week, the 7 of Cups is coming in. So this concept of really learning or understanding about your vices and virtues, and are you stuck in your illusions? Is the mind playing tricks on you in terms of your focusing on what is actually an illusion and not a truth in your life from an emotional standpoint? So, yes, if you really decide that just escaping is the way to go, then follow that instinct. But if you're finding that you're wanting to escape is not actually based on reality, it's not realistic, and the outcome won't actually give you what you hope to accomplish, then you perhaps rethink that and follow your heart. Like, what is your heart really saying? And sort of be mindful of those mind tricks, whether they be yours or somebody else's. The message that comes in from another person, somebody may come into your life, and you might find that it sort of sends you on a bit of a mind tailspin. So just be mindful of that. Okay, as I said, at the end of the week, the 7 of Cups is coming in, and I think here it's really important that you become aware of your actions in terms of following sort of is it the truth of the matter of the thing that you're trying to follow? So are you following a dream, which we all need dreams, hopes and dreams, and that's important in our visions, brilliant, or are we a little bit stuck in our illusions or our projections? So that's what this card is sort of talking to us about. It's about our unconscious coming up. There's this card here, this figure, this is the unconscious, looking at all these various opportunities and possibilities. Which is the thing we're going to choose? And what is our reasoning for our choosing? And is the mind playing tricks on us in terms of what is real and what is not real? So here you may find a situation comes up where you think something is going to play out, but really in your heart of hearts you know that it's not really realistic, but it's okay to have realistic hopes and dreams and visions versus fantasy, I guess. So that's sort of what this card is trying to say to you. So as your particular situation arises this week, just be mindful of is your mind playing tricks on you, or are you really clear about the vision that you are following, the path that you want to take, and or is there anyone in your life that's seeming like that maybe they're playing some tricks on you? If your gut feeling is telling you, if in your heart of hearts you really feel like something's not quite right, then kind of pay attention to that. That's very real. If you get somebody comes back in from your past, or a message from you get somebody who you haven't seen in a while who sort of arrives on your doorstep, just be mindful whether or not there's some old grief and loss that you haven't resolved that may come up, and you just, it's good to resolve those things. Be aware that there's grief and loss is going to come up continuously in our lives. It's part of being human. And within that, there's great capacity to find a new sense of well-being, and also note whether somebody maybe is offering you something that's not really true, a bit of an illusion. Maybe if you're finding someone's coming, in other words, if you get an opportunity that comes this week that seems too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. So just be mindful of that, particularly in business, particularly if the thing is something that makes your heart flutter and you think, oh, really, could that happen? But it's really way too good to be true. So look out for scammers. Be mindful of those phone calls where they tell you you've won the British Lotto and you know you haven't won a lotto ticket, or the one I've had recently is somebody called me up and said that, you know, I'd won a cruise and all of that sort of stuff, and you really know that, just double check, you know, always double check. There's unfortunately a lot of scammers out there on the internet and this, that and the other. So I hope you find that really useful. I hope that you have a wonderful week. If you'd like a private reading with me, or you'd like to make contact or check out my blog, please go to my website at kirawoods.com. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook at Kira Woods Tarot. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much for coming to my channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and have an absolutely fantastic week. And I will see you next week for the last week of July. All the very best.